You get what I'm saying? I'm only on your live, but you're not on mine.
Yeah, and I can't take that.
Yeah, if you send me if you click the link that I sent you, I can bring you on to
Yeah, I
mine.
just went to yours.
Okay, let's see if I'll get the invite or not. All right. So we on both each other live from my
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah. So
Okay.
you want to play something just to get the sauce flowing, so then we get into the live.
Yeah, we can do that. Welcome in.
Indeed, indeed. Oh, you got volume up or something.
It's up too high.
One, two. It's a little delay.
The delay in it.
Maybe.
Delay.
Hold on. It might be on my end because yeah. Hold on. That might be on my end. Everybody that's just tuning in, we are just getting this going. So bear with us. Bear with us. Yeah, I can't mute it.
Bear with us in peace.
Okay, it stopped whatever it was doing.
Stop
Still
what?
got me all shine. I said it stopped whatever it was doing.
Yeah, I gotta connect it to the thing. I just connected it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. All right. So
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
the.
So you can hear me?
I can hear you. I'm starting on my TikTok just for them to be able to tap in and listen.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Y'all don't pay no attention to the way I'm looking because I ain't come up here for your looking pleasure. I came up here to drop some information on the culture and yeah, so I'm not here to impress you look wise, all right?
Alrighty.
We've been putting in a lot of research and we've been up on the grind with this. So I just want to jump right into it. What I want to show y'all is something that we were doing earlier on the legendary Top Cat. To me, he's one of the best people online that's breaking down the Indian. And when I say Indian, I mean the what they would call Black Indians. You know what I'm saying? The other story that often doesn't get told. He does a very good job with explaining a lot of the history that took place. But that's not what we're talking about on this channel right now. I just want to play something from the show earlier because towards the end of the show, we started talking about what Busta Rhymes had put out there about the culture. So I want to play that real quick. That's cool.
Yeah, sure. We here for the knowledge.
All right, here we go.
They can't see on my page what you're playing, but they can hear it.
Okay, I'll make sure it's up.
Yeah. I can't hear no sound.
You don't hear anything?
No, if you playing something for us, we can't hear it.
Okay, hold on. There you go.
Yeah. Now, but yeah, yeah. But man, yeah, y'all know he's saying what he's told to say. I do know that, right? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a part of it too. Yeah, he's definitely being told to say that. They probably wasn't the janitorial fat joke, but uh, some of them actually do believe that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been around the industry for a minute. I've been around the industry, you know what I'm saying, since
Your side is echoing.
Bad Boy Records and you know what I'm saying and all that shit.
You trying to play it
So
out loud too.
a lot of them
I
have
turn it
been
down.
believing that shit, and I call it.
There we go. Yeah. It's putting that work in. Okay, I'm gonna skip it towards the bus where they start talking about Buster. Here you go, right here. Okay, it's about to come up.
You know, it's not like you find in every urban community, you know, Middle Eastern and black or Asian and black. You know, you always see Latino and black. And I think we just so a part of each other's cultural significance, not only as tropical people, but even here in the United States, where the multicultural, the U.S. ain't got no culture. They shit is all our shit.
Something's doubling up.
Is what makes the U.S. whatever you want to call it. We still don't know what that culture is for the U.S. But
so I'm gonna stop it because it was doubling up. Okay, well you can play it from your end. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let me finish the audio. Yeah. Okay, so I can play what we discussed, at the end, but that's what I want to talk about. I want to give a little build on that. So he said a lot in there, but one of the main things he kept pointing out was that the Latinos and his Jamaican heritage um, was gave the United States their culture. You know, everybody's talking about it right now. Everybody's like, why did he do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? After all the years that we've done of supporting the brother, in hip hop, all the money, all the concerts that black people have done. And when you say black people, it's a play on words. There's a lot of confusion with that. People are trying to tie that into just everything. But when we saying it, we're talking about, you know what I mean? When we say, do you know what I mean? When we say black people, because, people be like, Jamaicans are black. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about the ones from America, what they call America. Hmm. Yeah, that's why we've been using me particular. When people ask me, I say Indian. You know what I mean? I've been using Indian, because that's what my ancestors are. You know what I mean? So I've been focused on that. My father, before he passed away, he spoke to you, and he told you on both sides. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I could tell you one too. And so when my father tells me that, you know, and my mother and my grandmother, like when my family's telling me that, everything else is out the window. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. But then let's talk about this hip hop culture. So um, I feel like people don't understand what, how hip hop started and whatnot. And they give a lot of credit in hip hop. They give a lot of credit to um, other people. You know what I mean? There's narratives out there like it didn't start here.
What have you been told about it as far as like the origin?
What have I been told myself?
Yeah.
Not nobody has told me anything. I've always had to do my own research and stuff. Like nobody has to just broke down to me the origins of it outside of you have from your, you know what I'm saying, teaching and
Mm-hmm.
upbringing. But no, they don't talk about that. And where I'm from, they didn't talk about where hip hop was originated at. No, school systems nowhere. So it wasn't a discussion.
Okay.
Let's just say that it wasn't a discussion.
Yeah, you said they weren't talking about it in the school system, right?
No, I just thought hip hop come from within, who we are as people, our people. That's what
Yeah.
I've always thought without somebody telling me. I automatically felt it, vibed it, hit the soul. You could tell that it's from
Yeah.
our people.
So, right. So, a lot of people started calling it hip hop when it went, right? When they think of hip hop, they think of I'm so excellent. This is, you also having headphones.
Headphones for what? You want me to be on my live
See,
where people are coming in at to watch
yeah,
and live at the same time, so that's why it's echoing. But if I was to end my live, it'll stop all of that. But if I don't
yeah,
end
I
my
know,
live,
I get that. It's not so. One, two, one, two. I guess it is. Maybe it's not. It's not echoing to me right now at the moment. Okay, so okay, okay, so basically what I was saying was a lot of people when they identify hip hop right now, they're identifying it from the corporate standard perspective. So when they think of hip hop, they're thinking the business of hip hop. Originators will tell you that it was created in New York, as far as the name and the branding or whatever. It started in New York, so they'll point that out. Even though when you go listen to James Brown had an interview that you can find on YouTube where he said he started rap. And then you also got people that goes all the way back to like the Florida era, where it was I think the 1940s or something, 1930s, where they had groups back then that were rapping, So, and I saw that some of them was even breakdancing. So a lot of people are claiming that they created breakdancing and rapping, but we can find artists from back in the day actually literally doing the windmill, literally doing the back, breakdancing, pop locking and everything. So, but it went through all these different transitions of blues, jazz, and I'm not saying them in order, ragtime, scatting. You had you know you had Galloway in Chicago. So it went through all music has always went through different phases and stuff, but then it took all those elements and the struggle to create what today is called hip hop. So it was something that was created here. It wasn't created. The reason why we titled this Immigrants in Immigration, I call mine Immigration of Hip Hop, because a lot of people are coming in, a lot of immigrants are claiming that they came up with something that our forefathers came up with. And we're just not the generation that's going to sit here and let that shit fly. It's not like a diss to nobody. It's just like, we're not going to let y'all sit here and take ownership of something our ancestors created. It's just not going to happen. So any questions that people may have that come across the channel, anybody that wants to come in later, may see the video later, and you feel like you got some point that you want to make, bring it, drop it in the comment section. All our channels on YouTube are new, but we're not new to this thing called hip hop. You know what I'm saying? From the street perspective or the business perspective. I've got many interviews where I've talked about my history inside of the culture. I want to point this out. The culture is not based on a chart that we didn't create. We did not create the Billboard charts. We didn't create that. We didn't create those radio stations. Those radio stations brought what was going on that we created. They came and brought us to those platforms. That means they already had it created. They saw what was going on, and they brought that over there because they saw that it could be a commodity. I'm pointing that out to say hip hop is not controlled by a corporation. Hip hop is something that is controlled by the people that created it. No matter what anyone says, everybody can do it. It's not, you can't do hip hop if you're Spanish. You can't do hip hop if you're white or something. That hip hop wasn't about color, that's for sure. It wasn't about nationality or nothing, but it was created by us. And we're not gonna let that just, we're not gonna let Busta Rhymes or any celebrity sit there and act like they created something that they did. Now, go ahead. Say that again. Right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been lying in the school books. You know, they've been lying across the board. And then the reason why I was calling this immigrants in hip hop is because that's what it is. You know, they talk about how you got to let the immigrants come into America because they're seeking refugee. Well, that's what was going on in the hip hop culture. We let a lot of people come in, you know, and be able to do their 1-2, and it was a way of communicating. We got to know who they were, and they got to know who we were. So it was always a positive thing. But once you start lying on something, is where we got to get more positive about the truth. You know what I mean? And not turn this into some other stuff, because they've been trying to change the narrative too. They've been trying to say, "Oh, you guys are being divisive now because you're stating that you created, your people created it, and now it's like y'all are being racist or something." And it's not, because we're saying who we are and what we created don't mean that we're racist or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Right. And so I was on the build on Top Cat's channel, and we were talking about the same topic. And a lot of people want to know, you know, are they trying to wipe us out as far as the history of what hip hop is? Like, are they trying to, they'll call it whitewashing, they'll call it like forgetting about, you know, the blacks of America. If you want to say, I'm using the term foundational black Americans so you can understand what I'm saying. I'm using that term for Indians. Uh, are they trying to erase us out of the culture? Do you think that's what's going on? Right. And right. Okay. And this is the thing about it that I was explaining on the chat earlier. I said you can't erase us out. So it's just not reality. So I was telling the brothers earlier, I said, hey, let's not get lost in the illusion. Okay, first of all, if you're lying about how it started, you're lying about what it is, you're lying about the influence, then that means you're trying to erase us out. That's the vibe that's shooting out there. Like, you're trying to erase us out. And so with that being looked at, the conversation came up with what do we do in order for the youth to know the truth versus the story that they're trying to paint. My example of what we do is we start utilizing these tools the way we're doing right now, and we connect even more. You know, you may not agree with every single thing that a person's channel is about. You may not agree with every viewpoint, but one reason why I got the legendary Top Cats ticker down there on my thing is because he allowed what they call an open platform where everyone can come on, and as long as they don't get too out of hand and speak they part, whether you agree with it or not. And I think that is a strong part of the solution, the communication amongst the foundational Black Americans or Indians, or some will call themselves Moors, some will call themselves Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. They call themselves, whatever you're calling yourself. If you from this motherfucker, we got to communicate and we got to squad up no matter what tribe or what we calling ourselves. And we have to establish this network that is creating a chart system for ourselves. So I don't think we should be going on their charts, because the hip hop is not based on how much money you got. Hip hop is not based on how how much killing you did. That's not hip hop. That's not what hip hop's based on. Hip hop is also not based on just an up north narrative, because that's something that a lot of people, you can cut me off anytime you got something to say, but that's what a lot of people are pushing. They're pushing it like people were born in New York and they ain't have no parents nowhere else. They just magically appeared in New York State and created hip hop, and that's just not the reality and the truth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I wanted to play this one too, real quick. Can I play another audio? All right, hold on. The brother Dan Calloway was talking about it too. I want to play what he was saying about this. Stop that. Share this. All right, here you go. Okay. That's Chinky. Mm. He said the U.S. don't have no culture, and he referenced Jamaica and Latinos. He didn't say anything about foundational Black Americans or Indians or anybody like as far as that's from this landmass. That's what? But yeah, but that's not where he got rapping from because he was taught the culture of hip hop here in the United States. You understand what I'm saying? Buster didn't learn. Nobody was rapping. Nobody had hip hop in Jamaica. Hip hop didn't start in Jamaica. It started here in the States. It could have been. That's why I'm gonna keep playing it, but that's why Dane was saying New York cats need to school him, or somebody needs to school him. But I don't think he's missed school. I, like, how can you do a song with Janet Jackson? You know, who's Michael Jackson's sister? How can you do all the things he's done across his career dealing with the culture? to actually act like Michael Jackson wasn't Jamaican, bro. Yeah, I'm not inside his mind and know what he's thinking, but it's wrong. However, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just wrong. I'm gonna keep playing it. Huh? Oh, I see what you're saying too. You're saying that some people told Christopher Columbus discovered America, so they're out there saying that because that's what they was taught. Some people so Santa Claus put the gifts under the tree. Yeah, yeah. And see, this ain't no shot at Busta Rhymes. Like I like Busta. You know what I'm saying? Like I got heavy respect for Busta as an artist. You know what I mean? I don't know him personally. As an artist, I got a lot of respect for him. Um, because it takes to do what to do this hip hop thing. Whether you're on a worldwide stage or you just doing it for the people directly in the street, it still takes a certain amount of focus. So I always respect him. So this is not a Busta Rhymes diss or nothing. I'm not gonna be one of them people that just come out here dissing people because they have celebrity status or something. That's not what I'm into. But huh? What are you on? Yeah, it could be. It's not a diss to me because um, it's a lie. So you know what I'm saying? I don't take it as a diss. I'm just saying, yeah, but that's what it is. Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie. And like I said, I'm not here to diss the brother at all. I'm here just saying that that's a lie. We're gonna tell the truth. You know what I mean? So let me finish playing it real quick because it's going. I like how it goes. Yeah, DNA. He said, me too. You heard that? God bless it. God bless DMX. God bless. And then he said X would have put him in his spot. There's a lot of people that would have, corrected that. And hopefully it's getting corrected. No. You know why? Noriega is from here, but he also has like he's like mixed, Dominican and what's name. So he's black and I think he's black and Dominican. But that not saying that you can't be from here, because I think that not saying that you can't be mixed and talk about hip hop, but saying that Busta Rhymes was on Drink Champs. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I can't say if Noriega would have, straightened it or not. I don't know. I do know Noriega, is black also, what I'm saying? And it's not saying Busta Rhymes, um, I don't know his full background. He could be mixed. He could be from Jamaica and from over here. I don't know. I really don't care. The point that I'm pointing out is that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then, but it's opening up a conversation, and not just a conversation about. That's why I like the brother that was talking to Dane and what they were saying, because it's opening up a dialogue of what we gonna do. Are we gonna sit here and keep going down a path that's outdated, that was filled and based on a lot of lies, or are we going to? There was one time. Have you seen that post that Puffy was talking about where he said R&B is dead? And then they had a conversation and they was talking about how Justin Bieber and they was trying to like give the R&B over to the white artists or whatever. So Nas at one time said hip hop was dead. Um, Marketing strategies, maybe. Who cares? The point is though that neither one of when Nas said it, yeah, but the Nas had whatever theory he had. Like I said, it could have been a marketing. I don't know what be in their mind, but I know that hip hop can't die as far as the culture. It is a culture. It's tied into the soul culture, which is a culture. It's the combination of everything our ancestors have done. So when you sampling is a form of frequency resurrection. You can resurrect the energy of James Brown, Michael Jackson, Prince, different ancestors. You can resurrect their energy, and that's what sampling is. And it didn't start in Jamaica. Copying it started all around the globe. A lot of people have copied it. You know what I'm saying? So you can sample the Beatles, but it's not going to be at the same frequency level that where the Beatles learned it from. You understand what I'm saying? And the Beatles will tell you themselves who they study and who they learn from. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll tell you that. I'm not talking about like they come out now with something new because of whatever agenda, but if you watch the archives, um, a lot of the white artists, we know some white artists, they give it up. They say, "Hey, man, whoop, whoop, whoop." Right? And some Latinos, like I said, we're not gonna push it off on all Latinos or all immigrants. Some immigrants know and they give it up. A lot of the youth don't know though, and that's where I was talking about on Top Cat's channel. Yeah, that's where we come into play at. We actually have to start. We have to start giving them the truth. We got to start. We got to start telling the youth like, no, this is what it really is. They don't want y'all to know how powerful y'all are. You know what? Oh yeah, that's a good title. Be powerful versus powerless. Yeah, yeah, and and to add to that, don't. Okay, this is the thing. And this video, it may get hated on. It may not get pushed. And if to be honest, if our people don't push it, I don't want to hear nothing about what we need to do because I don't care how many followers you got or if somebody's just coming on YouTube. We have to start pushing each other, not just one person pushing everything, but you got to push everybody. You know what I'm saying? And you got to connect with everybody because that's how we control our culture. We determine what is going on in the culture, not the corporate America, not YouTube, not TikTok. You know, in a minute they're going to try to tell us that whatever they're saying to do in Asia or Europe is what we need to be doing in our culture. You know what I'm saying? So here comes the tailor suits. Here comes the custom suits. Ain't nothing wrong with wearing that, but let's remember what our culture is and let's determine our culture. Um, I'm looking at my feathers while I'm saying this because the feathers is part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Um, we got to get back to showing the tribe, and the tribe can't be hating on each other in the process. We got to push each other and support each other so these youngers know, you know, the truth. Because if we don't, it's going to make it seem as if they have to go somewhere else to get what they already got. Yeah, they're going to think, oh, I can't be a rapper because if I'm not talking about killing somebody, you know, if I'm not talking about how much work dope I got in the streets, nobody's gonna want to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I got to compete with all that stuff, and that's not what the culture is initially about. It's like, of course, you can talk about things that you made it through. You can talk about whatever you want, but that's not, you know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Right. 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 Oh yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times they try to put it in a box and they try to say that we are, you know, this is how it started. These are the rules to it. All the stuff that they try to do with everything else. Like, you know, they try to make it seem like uh, we got everything from Africa, that we're from Africa, and that everything we got, that we were brought over here on some slave ships, and that, you know, the whole y'all from Africa and the only thing y'all was slaves story. You know, they push that, and the youngins hopefully don't believe that. So you, yeah, Well, some of them are from Africa, and then there's some that's not. You talking about the ones that's not? Yeah. Everybody, what? Oh yeah, yeah. Different, yeah, different rhythms too. Yeah. So when Buster was saying what he was saying that um, that the Latinos made him put his made him feel confident or whatever about putting his Jamaican thing in there, which that's his personal experience. That may be so, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, but what everybody is looking at is the fact that you said culture wasn't created, that the US didn't have no culture, you know. Yeah. And now if he is clarifying that, saying when I say US, I'm not talking about it doesn't make sense in context of what he said. Yeah, that's what everybody got. Nah, that's what it was. That's what everybody got from that because he made sure he made Jamaicans and Latinos distinctive from the United States, and he didn't mention Indians or black people of the Americas. Yeah, whatever they did is whatever they did, because you're right, there had to be some kind of bread involved, right? But and do what you do. But my thing is what I'm liking about it, because there is something I like about it. I don't like the statement, but it's too late to retract the statement. So what I'm liking about it is the conversation that it's creating amongst all of us. And that's why I say, and see, the best hip hop is not found on the radio. The purest hip hop is not found on. I mean, you can see that even with today's rappers, the young boys, even though they're not, they're slowly getting to the essence of it because it's a lot for them to deal with. Like they've been lied to, confused, and stuff. So we can't expect so much out of them if they're being hit with, "Hey, talk about this dumb shit, and we're gonna pay you all this money." But we can say that there's it, the record labels are looking at what's popping on the internet before they're looking for the person that's already has a record deal. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is I'm trying to say that one thing that hasn't changed in America when it comes to music is it's always been found in the rarest places of America, not by a corporate machine, but more so by the people themselves. You know what I'm saying? Right, 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 right. Hmm. Right. Right. So you think dang, you said something deep just now. So some of these because for a while they were saying that we were expanding hip hop. If it wasn't for um Eminem, he he expanded the genre to white people. So maybe Nas is thinking, not him, but maybe the marketing of whatever they were doing is thinking hip hop needs to go into that area as well. Like, and that's the thing. But right, he's in the business. He's in the business because they're looking at they're yeah. I'm about to say because they're looking at numbers. So they're looking like, yo, it's more white people that's gonna buy and spend this type of money, and it's more gay people that's gonna spend this type of money than it is inside the culture. That's the narrative they try to paint. But this is not true. You know, the but it's their business, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying on the other podcast today. I was saying the same way they have their business, we have our business. Our business is based on skills, not skills of auto tone, not skills of rapping super fast but ain't saying nothing. I don't care if you saying the bumblebee, humblebee, tumblebee, crumblebee, trumblebee, somebody. Every time I take the tail, a bit of better to the cat, I'm getting a bit of better. Nobody care about that shit. Anybody spat better. Anybody got it better, rat tatter. Every matter, cat better. Itty bitty kitty bitty titty bitty titty. Look, it sounds cool, but when it comes to skills, I'm an MC, right? I don't care if you think I don't have enough money. You don't know how much wealth I have. Wealth is not wealth is not determined by money. Money is just a piece of paper that got people pictures on it that don't look exactly like you. So that should not determine if you call yourself a king or a god or just a regular black person. That shouldn't determine your wealth. So it's an illusion to think that it requires that for you to be considered authentic or something real in hip hop. So that measuring stick is off. So they'll be like, "Who's the best rapper?" DJ Khaled did it when he was on Drink Champs. They said, "Who's the best rapper?" He was like, well, we base rap upon who's doing the numbers on the charts. How many people are you influencing, motherfucker? We don't. Huh? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, and so I get that too. But what I'm trying to say is that when he does that, when he takes our culture and make it seem like it's based upon a chart that we don't control, and that if they try to make it seem like, okay, in order for you to be in hip hop, you have to. It's like they try to compare it to the NBA. It's like, okay, all you underground artists, all y'all are not in the NBA. Y'all street players. Y'all not in the NBA. Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Puff Daddy, DJ Khaled, that's the NBA. You guys are just some big, not even big three. You guys are just like an one or something. Y'all in the streets. Exactly. 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 Right. And I got a family member that said one time, he said, why would I go sign some shit to get less than what I already got? Meaning some of these rappers are signing they whole time away, and time is more important than anything, right? So they're signing their time away for something that some of them need to do it because they don't have absolutely nothing. But some of them actually have something, but they're being told that they don't. So then they don't go handle the business of what they have because they're thinking they don't have nothing. They've been told what you just said. Oh, y'all come from slaves. Oh, y'all are underground. You don't have nothing. You need to sign this contract so you can get you something. Don't know. But don't ask us who your don't ask us who your grandma is. Don't get to know your daddy though. Don't get to talk to your mama and your daddy at the same time so they can tell you who you really are. Stay away from that. Just do the thought stuff, do the drug selling, do all the gang banging stuff. But don't you niggas talk to each other about who y'all really are. You know, and that's the narrative that it just it's not gonna work no more. To me, it never worked. It only worked on someone that was very lost on who they are, like and ignorant. But it's never worked on people that know who they are. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and this internet, there's a new industry. I want to get into that before we before we end the show. I want to talk about. Are you on TikTok? Okay, I'm just I got to know those things. So yeah, yeah. As far as my mouth, you know what I'm saying. That's why I'm being careful. So I want to talk about that though. I want to talk about what was I just saying? The new industry. Okay, let's go there. If anybody's saying anything on TikTok too, you got to translate it to me. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. Maybe D up there. But anyway, what I was gonna say was the new industry is what is going on right now. This is not something that has. Hmm? Okay. Okay. So you're on TikTok and Facebook. Okay. So the new industry is what's going on right now, right? I was on the other podcast earlier today explaining how I created this module. Let me go live on my Facebook too. I'm gonna give it to them. If you're on yours, I'm going on mine. Let's go there tonight. Oh, so oh, you added yours in the beginning, huh? Oh, you can edit. Okay, I see it. Okay, then yeah, let's get it popping then. All right, yeah, let's get it popping. Um, okay. So what I was saying was I was talking about the new industry, and basically we're in the new era, and it's totally different from what everybody thought it was going to be, right? So you had people that signed these contracts based on what the old industry was. So when the new industry got in place, they didn't know how to adapt. Record companies closed. Some people just let me get the last of the last that I can get before I can't get it no more. I'm talking about CEOs, A&Rs, marketing people. There's so many marketing people that went to college that don't know marketing, even though they studied the term, and they come online and they take from the people that are creative geniuses. They take their intellectual properties, concepts, ideas, and they take them to these corporations and sell the marketing strategies to them, right? So, right. So I created this module, right? Because I knew that this was all coming. How could I say that and how could I know that, right? Because everybody on YouTube says, I created this first and I did this and I did that. Yeah, everybody's on the Soldier Boy. You know what I'm saying? I was the first rapper to do woo woo. Right. But as Soldier Boy could do with some of the things he has said, I can back it up. Right. So I have proof that certain things I put in place before everybody was doing it. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the module. This is something I have not talked about on the public platform. This is something that if you tap into it, it's going to do all kind of things for your brand, right? So this is major. DJ Khaled can't tell you this. It's not a record executive, CEO in Universal or Sony that can tell you what I'm about to tell you. And the reason why I say that is because the only way you can operate this module or know exactly how it can expand is you had to focus on nothing else but that, right? So when someone invents something, they got to put a lot of energy on it. I put a lot of energy into this hip hop culture for the new era of it. So before I lay it out, you got to understand what recently happened. What recently happened in the industry recently was it hit a ceiling because you can only go but so far before you have to just stop. So when the MP3 came, all that stuff, and we ain't got to go through all that. But when all these different formats came, a lot of the old marketing people and old artists got kind of pushed down, right? Um, but then also came in the technology and the software, and it got it to the level of what they call it the metaverse, 3D modeling, AI technology, and all of that. There's rappers that are using that format. There's singers that are using that, but they're doing it in the way that was done in the old module. So if you're using the software like you would use it when you were signed to a record deal in the 90s, you're gonna lose. If your audience, if you're not, if you're talking to the audience that is still just looking at you from the 90s, guess what? You got to keep doing 90 songs over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You got to keep doing the same thing. And that for an artist in the new era is like it's like a mental death because you have all these new material that you are not allowed to express because of the contracts that you might have signed in the 90s. You understand? Okay, so I want to get that there to say this. The module, it works like this. When you sign into Facebook or you sign into YouTube or you sign into your Apple phone, you can get sponsored from either one of these corporations. So if an artist is in a 360 deal, right, they get a percentage of all of those corporations. You understand? So then the artist that's not using the new module, they walk away with a very low percentage because there's a bunch of business deals that already took place before the artist can see what they need to see if they're using a outdated contract that was created on the old, based on the old module, right? What's 360 plus 360? 720, right? So some of these artists are thinking they're in a 360 deal, but they're really in a 720 deal because they're you're in a 720 deal when you sign an agreement that was built on a module that don't exist no more. So if you were like, well, I was getting money from shows, I get my money from shows. Okay, nobody's at the club though. We had COVID. What you gonna do? Right? So when COVID hit, that's why I said it happened very recently. When COVID hit, all the artists that was on tour was like, damn, I gotta stay afloat. Because that was the main way they was eating. Those are what they call 360 artists. They still, gotta break it off and break their entourages off and all that stuff, but they still eating the less. So then when COVID let up, they started like, okay, well, good. Now we can go back out here and do the same thing we were doing before. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of YouTubers that are sitting at the crib chilling. There's multi-million-dollar YouTubers out here and multi-million-dollar TikTokers, multi-million-dollar people through StreamYard, Zoom. There's so much business going on that was created inside. You can cut me off. Created inside the new module. Go ahead. Right. Right. Yeah. 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 I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is you're saying not only in the music, but also in the 9 to 5 thing. Because people started working from home. Some people started learning what it was like to work from home. Yeah, as well as working from home for a corporation or something. Yeah, some people had to learn how to Zoom for the first time. Yeah, eh, right. And this is yeah, and this is yeah, yeah, and this is the thing. Some people got caught off guard by the switch because and this is the thing. There's we knew that that was coming, right? Because we studied on it for so long that we knew that was coming, so we were prepared for that switch happening. This is the thing that I'm trying to communicate to people out there is that you don't look for the expertise in a situation from someone that got caught off guard and it was a surprise to them. So if you have a record executive, right? I'm just gonna put it out there because you know what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's 2022. Anybody that I mention, do not think I'm dissing you because this ain't about me dissing you. Because these niggas be feeling themselves. They be egotistical and stuff. So when you try to use a certain thing, they'll, get in their little feelings. Steve Stout, right? This is an example of the difference between a marketing director like me and a marketing director like Steve Stout. Steve Stout was able to go to Nas, say, Nas, uh, I can get you a check from Hennessy. Hennessy may not know who Nas was at the time, didn't have the relationship to get that agreement signed. Steve Stout was the middle person that could bring that together, right? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So with Steve Stout doing that, that was cool, but it was also based in a module that's outdated. In this new module, it's not about that. It's about interacting directly, faster, quicker, and not being a middleman, but being the man. So um, instead of saying, well, I got all the independent artists out there, instead of saying, hey, man, I got to go to this person and do this, no, you don't. All you have to do is go directly to the person that you want to collaborate with. We're in an informational and sharing era, right? So we shared this live. We're sharing information. We're sharing our thoughts. We're in an informational era, so we're learning a lot of things. If an executive or a marketing person doesn't understand that, the only thing they're going to be able to do is get outdated money that's not going to is not going to equal out to real wealth. Real wealth comes from two sources: I'm talking about as an artist now. I'm talking about as an artist. As an artist, it comes from first, your first source is not how many people you got. So if you got a million followers, um, some of these what they call big acts in major industry, you can have all that support because you're paying all this money to get all these followers and to keep their attention through the commercials or whatever. That is more expensive than it costs the person that ain't got to spend none of that money, don't have that large following, but has a loyalty in place, right? So you use the YouTuber for an example, right? A YouTuber that may have 50,000 loyal every time he show up, they're on deck, right? They send in the cash app, they supporting whatever it is. TikTokers, your people over there, they like, hey man, we mess with Rekey. They supporting it. That is more valuable. You may have 50, you may have 1,000 loyal people that's more valuable than a million people that are going to be on to the next hottest single and going to put you in competition based on chart position. You understand? So would you rather have 50 pennies or $1, something like that, right? Yeah. So Jay-Z says it, less is more. What did he mean when he say less is more? He meant what he said, less is more. You know, the more valuable something is, the less people it requires, right? So the new module, it was placed, what I did, and I can prove it, and this wasn't nobody put me on. Everybody that knows me or want to get to know me can ask me questions and stuff. People that know me know I've been in the background of the industry for a long time. Um, they know, you know, that I've been keep the game a long time ago. And in the process of keeping that game, I was able to create this module to say, hey, these little pieces need to be put in place in order for this generation to actually become wealthy. The way they're going to become wealthy is not going to be if your YouTube channel gets banned or your TikTok gets slowed down, or you think that you got to break through. This is another illusion they're doing. Before algorithm, you needed just rhythm. So some people had no rhythm. Some people cannot, you know, they just don't have rhythm. So then you got to create artificial rhythm. Artificial rhythm is algorithm. Algorithm is not based on frequency. It's based on um, input. It's not algorithm is not based on data output. It's based on data input. Data input cannot be stronger than frequency output. So they cannot control the frequency that we put out. They can only control the input of the data they put in. Why I say that is because the illusion that they gave us back in the day was saying, hey, y'all are just slaves. Hey, you are just you didn't create this hip hop culture. If it wasn't for us in this music, this industry, nobody would care about your little culture. All that's lies because we cared about it, right? So what made them even see that it was a commodity was because our frequency was so dang, you know what I'm saying? So algorithm, you don't have to figure out the algorithm. You don't have to, they pushing me down in the algorithm. Don't worry about that. That's for them anyway. That's something they're inputting. We don't want people to see this person, or we want people to think this, or that's them inputting. What we got to do is utilize this module that I got in place. The module that I got in place was already placed in side of the industry itself. So if I already went to old school artists and already implemented my marketing strategy inside of their campaigns through the marketing directors at their companies that they did not know I trained. So there was a lot of young people going to a lot of these companies that were developed by me. I just didn't make it public. So what I mean to say is you got people that go to college, right? They do interns. They also want to get a position at a label. Well, guess who in the street they come and talk to? Your boy. And I've talked to them and I told them, hey, do this. They're going to tell you not to do. They're going to tell you this, and you're going to have to do this, but you can do this. So implement these little things inside of this. It took those little elements, and it took all these other little strategies, even that I've done with legendary artists, to where they don't know I helped them. Some of them do know. Some of them like was literally at my house and we talked directly, but some of them don't know. Most of there's more that don't know I helped them. I'm talking about from saving their lives to also their careers to helping them stay afloat. Some know I helped them and some don't know, right? I'm not going to get into the name thing right now. It would take the right interview for me to go further into that. But the point that I'm making is this module is already in place. They're already operating on it. The problem is that they're running around trying to find out who's the executive or who's the person that has the keys to the ship. Metaphor. What I mean is DJ Khaled doesn't have the keys. He has marketing because, you know, it's Hip Hop Harry. You do the Hip Hop Harry thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying? Hip Hop Harry. It's rhythmatic, based on a nursery rhyme. Shit works, right? But that's not the keys to the ship. We got the keys. We know where that song came from, right, Reed? So the keys, the keys to the ship are based upon the fact that it was already put in place. So where we headed next is not going to be based on, I hate to bust everybody bubble, and I would talk out, any executive could come up here and challenge me. You know what I'm saying? The way some of these cats be like, I'm about to debate. When it comes to this industry stuff, come challenge me if you think it. Don't shoot a blank shot. What they do is they'll go on Instagram, post some old subliminal stuff because they scared to come right to my face and challenge me on live or something. You know what I'm saying? But if any executive out there want to talk to me about any business and think that I'm all for something, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Throw that out there. So what I was trying to say is they don't know. That's why the music sounds like it sounds. Because people are wondering where to go next with it, right? That's why the marketing looks the way it looks. Does the marketing look good? No. Because these niggas, I'm sorry, you on TikTok. Because these people are scared of dealing with the truth. They rather deal with something that these youngins are not going to resonate with. The youngins don't believe in the Santa Claus thing no more. I'm not talking about 5-year-olds. You know, I'm not talking about like, 5 and 6. I'm talking about youngins like the millennials and the Gen Zs. They don't believe in Santa Claus. They know what Santa Claus is. Macy's and Sears, Macy's is still trying to hold on. Kanye was on Instagram going off at the Gap meeting. You know what I'm saying? He was just going off for everybody at Gap. So in this time frame, you have to be more realer, especially when you got the informational highway giving all this information out, right? You can't tell people that Masons are the devil because people can pull it up and do all kind of research on, different levels of Masons and different levels of the church and stuff. And it's not about who's right and who's wrong more than it's about what you want to do based on what you have in front of you to do. And the module has to be operated in that exact way. So Busta Rhymes can say what he wants to say. It's, freedom of speech. But just because he says it doesn't mean that that's what the module is going to accept. Because the main thing about the module is that it will only accept high frequency and truth. Did you hear that? So if the truth is not inside the marketing, people are going to pull it up now and say, you're lying. I'm not buying that. If the truth is not inside the music, it's not going to resonate. People are going to be like, it's cool, but it's artificial. You got to do some drugs just to get it to resonate. So then it's not really resonating. You just high. You just think it's resonating. But when you want pure resonation on high frequency, you can hit a blunt and it's just like, yo, man. You understand? The soul in there. Soul cannot be taken out of none of the music. It can't be taken out of country. It can't be taken out of R&B. It can't be taken out of pop. We need soul in pop. If you take soul out of pop, that's inputting instead of outputting the frequency that the universe operates on. How do you heal the world? Michael Jackson already told us. The problem is when Michael Jackson was telling us how to heal the world through the vibration, I'm talking about through that frequency he tapped in, not necessarily the words, but the sound and the frequency and the pitch and the tone and the timing that he was able to execute in. The reason why that was able to take place and everybody, it resonated with the globe, not just America, was because of the soul. So when Busta Rhymes gets up there and say the United States don't have no culture, he's a motherfucking lie. Excuse me, TikTok. He's a lie. The soul, the reason why everybody wants to come over here to what they call the United States is because of the soil. This is fertile soil. And it's also soul. You know what I'm saying? This is, if you look at every single story around the globe, nobody has a story like what they call the slaves or the black Indians, whatever you want to try to put on us. Nobody has a story like that across the whole globe. That doesn't mean everybody don't matter. It means our story matters and we don't need someone else to tell it. And we're not going to have to tell it based on television, right? We don't even have to tell it. It's showing in real time. So that's the other part of the module. So, okay, you got the key already in the ship, already cranked based on the elements of soul. And then you have interaction, reacting in real time. The reason why I call my thing the Real Online Network is because it's in real time, right? So real time means that it's instant. If the module is understood, it doesn't go out of whack where you see something crazy happening in real time. You can see the positive stuff more than you can see the negative stuff happen in real time if you're not allowing the input of whatever anybody wants to put in there because you're operating on the output of high frequency in real time. So the module is alive. What I used to say when I used to break down it before you had Cash App about revenue, you remember? A revolving budget. So as an artist, you have to be prepared, or a small business, you have to be prepared to operate on, say it again, on a revolving budget. The old artists said, this is our budget. In the new module, the budget revolves. You know, it's not based on one set budget. Well, this is the budget that you're going to need. And then this is what we got to recoup back. And then you get paid, or this is the red line. That doesn't happen in an interactive module, in a metaverse type environment. It's a revolving budget. So someone gives you a virtual ticket here. So they're buying a virtual ticket to your online Tiny Desk performance. But then you getting some more money over here. Then you got the merch over here. Then you got this software out here. And you got all these different elements that fluctuate up and down. That means it's a revolving thing. You don't need someone to go identify where your fans are at. That's irrelevant. You can track your fans. You don't even worry about your fans. I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why you don't worry about your fans is because fans do what, Reed? What's your favorite saying? So when you hot, the fans cool you off. Fans is another term that comes from an outdated industry. In the new industry, fans cool you off. When you say fan, we know fan is supposed to be short for fanatic, but we know fans in today's aspect cool you off. If you don't believe me, go listen to 50 Cent. When 50 Cent said, I looked in the audience and everybody wanted the microphone. He said it in a different way, but that's the bottom line of what he said. He said everybody that was in the audience wanted to be on stage. He said, so this is different. And he was right, because the fans, 50 up here killing it, but the fans trying to cool them off because they like, yeah, I want that mic. So we don't focus in the new module on fans. We focus on supporters. And then we support what they're doing as well. That's why I said it's in a sharing, interactive, revolving budget manner. That is when businesses learn how to do that. In the business world, they'll call it B2B, which is not B2K, y'all. B2B, which is business to business. So in the corporate world, they'll say business to business. Facebook is doing business with YouTube, right? Those are two different businesses, but they're B2B, business to business. The problem with the rappers, they're not doing that. They thinking, I charge this person for a verse or this hook or this appearance, and that's how I make my money. That's the outdated module. The artists that instead of charging for the verses or charging for the appearance, especially when the appearance is online, it just comes through. They do this. Shout out to Hit Boy. He's kind of younger. Shout out to Hit Boy and a few other artists that do it. I think Taylor Swift is a lot more interactive. I'm trying to think of some. I've seen it mostly done by either the new artists like Hit Boy, or either I can't sit here and go through everybody, but I haven't seen it done. I've seen it done by independent artists, right? Independent artists are not just saying pay me and then I'll come through. They're just saying support me and I'll come through. You know, support me and I'll come through, or I'm just gonna come through on the vibe tip. You know what I'm saying? So you got to collaborate. Should you pay an artist? Yes. Should the artist have to use that for the level of meeting? No. And what I'm trying to say is the more interactive the independent artist is online, the more support they're going to get that's going to outweigh anything that the industry is talking about. It is not about running around the United States on a tour bus no more. It's just not. I can sit here and lie to you and say, yeah, man, you get out there, you get on a tour bus, you go city to city, you knock on door to door, you do that, you do that. That's cool if you want to do that. But it's the old module. I don't watch too many people that's not doing that having more success than the rappers that's running around doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people. You know what I'm saying? I don't brag about my level of business, but you know, I'm a humble person when it comes to uh, bragging about what I got and stuff like that, because material things are just that. They break. They material things. You know what I'm saying? To me, there's nothing more valuable than family, tribe, humans experiencing each other, and of course, land and food. You know what I mean? So the material thing don't matter that much, you know. So as an artist, getting back to the topic and why we called it immigration, of why I called it immigration of hip hop, is because in order for you to enter the United States, they said you had to do it legally, right? The reason why they feel like you have to do it legally, based on their legal terms, is because then they can track and make sure you're not here causing harm to other people. The same way if you want to go to another country, you got to go through certain things. You know, you don't have a passport, you can't even leave this country, right? So hip hop is the same thing. If you bring your ass into hip hop, what this module is going to do when you try to input lies, when you try to delete or do any of that algorithm that doesn't match our rhythm, you're going to get G checked by the module automatically. Automatically. So I had to bring it full circle, and I'm not going all the way into depth because that'd be like a whole nother bill, and my mouth getting a little dry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Versus showed us that when they did verses on Instagram. Shout out to Timberland and Swiss Beats. The reason why that was so successful was because it was based on my module. And when I say my module, it doesn't mean like I'm the owner of it. I'm just saying I was a developer of this module. And like I said, I can prove it. Like I don't want no money from nobody. So don't think that I'm trying to get Swiss Beats check or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I contributed to the culture. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, nobody even had a live button when I was saying that. Yeah, I had a website back in the day called, what was it called? Tour online web tour. Yeah, onlinewebtour.com. Yeah, online web tour. And everybody's like, online web tour. I said, we're gonna go on tour state to state through the internet. And I set it up, and everybody thought I was crazy when I was doing it because nobody was talking about live. The same thing with the videos. I always point out that when you see those videos, the rappers with their banners at the top and the banners at the bottom, and then the video in the middle, I brought that to the internet. When you talk about Instagram and you talk about what they did with creating Instagram, I was taking YouTube videos and doing everything that they're doing now as far as chopping them up, editing them, putting them with something else, mixing them together. I was doing that before Instagram was creating memes. I was making memes before Instagram created the little meme thing. And I got all the proof and the history there to do that. That's why I said it's not about ego or nothing. It's just about, you know, a lot of times, yeah, yeah, yeah. So then you got different platforms like how we were like the first on SoundCloud. Some of the first people, if not the first, using Wix, right? I was taking the Wix websites and turning them into something totally different than what Wix. There wasn't a design on Wix uh, templates or anything. Nobody was taking them websites to that level that I was taking them to. So if you go look around now, you see 3D graphics everywhere because everybody's prepping for the metaverse. I was prepping for the metaverse before the goggles was on deck. So the 3D graphics and the unique stuff that Wix just started doing through their new site, the X editor, I was I was back there in the background creating that type of content to take it there. You know what I'm saying? Got all the proof of that, but that's not the point of this conversation. The point to bring it to an end, I want to play before we close it out. I want to play the rest of this little clip real quick, and then I want to close it out. Okay? Tell Bree I said, "What up, Bree? I hear it as fans keep you cool when you're hot, and fans add fuel to your fire. You can do concerts online. Facts. What up, Bree? Yeah, yeah. I was. Where was I going? Oh yeah, I wanted to play this real quick. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, Busta Rhymes was in a group before he went solo. He was in a group called Leaders of the New School. Yeah, and but something Dang said. Let me see. Hold on, real quick. Then we can. Here you go. Okay, right there. And then this is what we can. Um, I wish I would have known Bree was on earlier, but this is where we can, cipher off from. He said they were influenced by our culture early on, right? So that's what I'm pointing out. That when you come as an immigrant into hip hop, everybody's welcome, but you cannot come in here and change what it was already. I wouldn't go into Japanese culture and try to change their culture. You know what I'm saying? Or take credit for their culture, even though you can go back, way back, and say, okay, well, black people were over there as black samurais and stuff, right? But just currently, you know, that's when you think of what they're doing over there in China or Japan, that's their culture, right? So you don't come over here trying to tell us what our culture is, right? And take the soul out of it. So that's why I wanted to speak on that part. And I also wanted to add that the same way Dane is trying to point out that they learned the culture that New York taught them and helped them and supported whatever he was doing inside of hip hop. That was, they're talking about the time that he's talking about. The time that he's talking about is, I think he's talking about like the 80s and the 90s, right? You follow me? So he's saying that he was influenced by the hip hop culture from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, now that means whatever the founding fathers were doing, they wasn't getting credit for doing. And this is where I'm ending it. This is where I'm ending my whole bill tonight. The founding fathers, including James Brown, including them cats from Florida, all the way up to George Clinton, all the way up to George Clinton, all the way up to New York and the Trixie that was doing the breakdancing, to the Black Spades doing the graffiti tagging, to Kool Herc playing the soul records back to back. We give respect to Kool Herc. Kool Herc showed you love, right? Kool Herc showed you a lot of love on your music. He deserves more respect for the fact that he's been in it for a long time. He's a pioneer. We're not going to disrespect Kool Herc. Kool Herc is Jamaican. His influence came from the soul of the South, though. Spinning, you can't say, you get credit for it now. Don't get it wrong. So I love Kool Herc. I'm a hip hop head, hip hop baby, and all that. But what I'm trying to say is, if James Brown makes a break beat, right, and the beat is just the funky drummer, boom, 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 bap, boom, 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 and it's just a break beat, and then you say, hey, that's funky. Hey, I'm gonna play that again because they like when I play that part. You didn't create that part. You just playing that part over and over, which is important for what we do now. So Kool Herc gets all the credit for playing James Brown part repeatedly or playing other soul artists' part repeatedly because we sample doing that. Like we sample, and I told you, for me, sampling is resurrection of a frequency. So salute to that. We're not going to change like certain, truths, right? But this is where I'm closing it at. I'm trying to close at it saying, if Kool Herc story had to be understood, and if we gotta do a hip hop documentary for everything to be understood, what makes you think us as the creators of this new era of hip hop online and the digital platform is getting our credit? So do I have to be like James Brown, where everybody be like, hey man, he was on to something, and they just take it and they keep creating all this money off of it, and then y'all don't be like, what is this brother talking about right here? Instead of just taking a piece of it, going to try to duplicate it, you actually work with the brother to make sure that we can keep what we're doing, including what you're doing, Ricky, including what Bree doing, including what all these independent people like Dane is doing, what Top Cats is doing, even Tariq Nasheed. There's so many different people doing so many different things that is talking about the narrative of what we dealt with here in America, that we have to support each other on all of those elements. Even Keith Sweat and all them. Like if y'all want to, I love Keith Sweat, but Keith Sweat, get with the independent artists on YouTube. Don't be so high up to where you like come to my platform. Drop in on some of these YouTubers. And that's what Dave's talking about at the end of there. He's trying to say, New York, why don't y'all chime in? So some of the New York rappers that are, from America, know the culture, tell us about some of the OGs that we don't know about, or either you get on the microphone and start doing it, and put some music out too in new frequency though. Don't do the trap stuff. All the old school artists, put y'all shit out online and communicate with these youngins, younger than you and younger than me, so they can know what it is, so we can protect, respect, and never neglect the culture. That's where I can end it right there, as far as my bill. Indeed, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, and please make sure y'all subscribe, because I haven't been on YouTube. She hasn't either, I don't think. So make sure y'all subscribe and share it. Share the video. We don't care if people talk junk about us. We built for all that. We done been through the fire. So make sure y'all subscribe, share, like it, all that stuff they say on YouTube, and get to know us, yo. We got a lot of information. We are the kind of people that will interact with you. We're not gonna sit here and act like we won't pull you on stage or we won't pay attention. That's why I like Top Cat's page, because it's interactive. Let's get interactive, y'all. All right. One love. My mouth is dry.